Do a short deck check here since it's the first time I've played this deck. Made fairly minimal modifications. This was a deck that went 7-2 in the Blood Cup this past weekend, or a week and a half ago or so. No, it's this past weekend, right? And it is a Orc Darkspire themed deck, and so for those who aren't familiar, what the Darkspires do is there's 3 different Darkspires in this deck, and every time a Darkspire dies, you get something happens. It's between one of 2 things, and it shows around. It's basically like flip a coin, which of these 2 things happens. And this one, when it dies, it either deals 3 damage to your opponent, or you search your deck for a Darkspire and put it into your hand. Darkspire Punisher is also a coin flip when it dies. Your opponent either discards a card at random, or you search your library for a card at Darkspire and put it in your hand. So this card's really good because it's always card advantage, right? They either discard or you get to get another troop back when it dies. And then the Tyrant is nuts. This is a 5-drop 6/3 that when it dies, it either deals 2 damage to your opponent for every Darkspire in the crypt, or you get to draw a card for each Darkspire in your crypt. And this counts itself in the crypt when its ability resolves. So you're at minimum dealing 2 or drawing a card. So this card is pretty good. What do I think of the Hex VIP program? I think the VIP program is great. My wife and I are both in that. The nice thing about the VIP, so the VIP rotates every other month. 1 month's constructed, 1 month's limited. And if you only play limited or only play constructed, you can save those tickets. You can like play 2 VIP events the next weekend of constructed, or 2 VIP events the weekend of limited. Anywho, so the rest of the deck is basically, this deck has got a bunch of, I can see this deck, like I played 1 match in this gauntlet with the deck just to get a feel for it before I started streaming, and we beat the Boros Blast Forge deck. This has got a ton of tools to beat the Boros deck. So we've got 4 Extinctions in the main, we've got 4 Heat Waves in the main, just 2 damage to every troop, we've got Ziggumot's Game, we've got Inquisition, and then one of the really sweet things, in addition to all 8 of these sweepers like killing our Darkspire and giving us that effect, is we have Monsoon the Shojin. And this card's just a giant wall of text. So I'm going to talk about what this card does really quick. Basically, it's a 3/3 with Rage 2. So every time attack, it gets +2 power permanently. And while this is tunneled, it's a tunneling troop, so for 2 costs we can tunnel it. While this is tunneled, every troop we put into play gets a counter on it, and then when this guy untunnels and comes into play, every troop that he had a counter on gets put from our crypt back into play. So basically, like, the perfect setup is we tunnel a Monsoon, and then we play out some Darkspire, and then we clear the board, killing all of their guys and killing our Darkspire, and then this guy brings them all back into play, and you get their effects all over again for just like super value. What other cards do we have? At the top end, we have 2 copies of Gallows Ghast, which has the speed and damage gems in it since we're in Blood Ruby. It's just super potent. Every time a troop dies, this gets bigger. So like while we're killing all the things, if this is in our hand, it gets bigger and bigger, and then we get to slam it into play and just deal a bunch of direct damage. Yeah, actually, the champion is one thing I'm not sure on. So, like, this build doesn't have crackling bolts in it. It's just got a couple copies of burn and a couple copies of heat wave. So, like, playing Yoltool doesn't leverage a ton of these abilities. Oh, one of the sweet things too is because we're playing Darkspire in Blood Ruby, we gain access to the Orc resource, which is awesome. So the champion is one thing I'm not 100% sold on. Kranak's life total is low, and his ability has a very real cost. It actually sounds like my youngest just woke up, so we're gonna play a couple of matches, for sure. But I need to go get him real quick. It looks like one of these other champions might be better. Like maybe Grong's is okay, just to like have more life. But Kranak's probably. I want to play at least like 3 or 4 matches with this before I decide to change it. This deck just doesn't. We've got some Vampire Princesses in the board against life. But we don't have any life gain in the main, so like him paying life is a very real cost. You definitely get into spots where you just like can't afford to activate the champion ability anymore. All right. We will be And kill your Darkspire at your convenience. I mean, like, if these guys are staying on the table and dealing damage to your opponent, that seems fine. I'm going to run upstairs and grab my youngest really quick. Sorry for the immediate interruption. I didn't realize. You know, if you have kids, you understand. They just do their own thing. So I'm going to grab him and bring him down and set him up with a bottle and a TV show for a little bit, and we will play some more. Yeah, the Blood Sapphire deck is great. I 4-3'd one gauntlet where I made some mistakes, but I have 5-0 in another and 5-2 in a third. So that deck feels really powerful. I want to try out different things though. Like this deck did well at a large, the almost 300 player tournament or 250 player tournament or whatever it was. So it seems like this has potential, and it's sweet. Like the first match was sweet. I like killing all my own Darkspire and getting effects from them. It's a good time. So I'll be right back, and then we're gonna play some matches. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Alrighty. Yeah, Sin seems pretty good. Hey, Ian. I mean, like, I understand people are disappointed. Like, I consume Magic content too. Like, actually, that's one of the things. Like, I always find it strange when, like, people that make Magic content don't also consume Magic content. Like, I never see like Cheon in streams, or I guess I've seen Newmont in a stream before. Maybe I'm thinking I've seen LSV in other people's streams before. But like, it seems strange to me that you produce content and then don't actually view it. So this hand's actually got a great curve, and drawing a shard there was wonderful. So let's get our Inquisition on here. RW Foxes with the resub. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. And our last long stream here is going to include some magic. So we'll have kind of a blowout bash of sorts. So he has Archon of Nulzun, which means that he's playing the combo in his deck. So I'm definitely just going to take the Archon. So for people that aren't familiar, Archon of Nulzun combos with Caves of Primordial, or Primordial Caves, or whatever it's called, to basically make a bunch of random dinosaurs fairly cheap. Let's go ahead and pass the turn here, and we just got a really strong curve. Like I said, we get to curve Darkspire Punisher into maybe Zenthos Inquisitor. So this card, when it comes into play, it's basically a removal spell. It gives target troop minus power equal to its power, and then every time this dies, it comes back to our hand, which is sweet. Hey, Jake. Yeah, I decided, when I fired up, both the kids were napping. My youngest is now awake, but he's eating something. I'm going to put a show on for him, so we're going to play for an hour or so. Maybe a little more, depending on how good the kids are being. Okay, so I'm glad we took the Archon out of his hand, because here's the Primordial Cave. So this card, every time a troop enters my opponent's hand from anywhere, every time a troop enters my opponent's hand from anywhere, this gets counters on it. Then we don't know how many counters get on it, equal to that card's cost. And basically, the Archon of Nulzun, and we can look at that in a second when we pull it out of his discard pile, lets him search his library for another, or his deck for another Archon. So he gets to sit there and cycle these and generate a bunch of random dinosaurs. So this have to happen? Target opposing... Oh, it's only an opposing troop. Okay, that's good. So Zygamot's game really doesn't do anything. I'm going to go ahead and play out my Quash Ridge Rubble before we attack. We don't need another Threshold, so I'm going to go ahead and choose Rage 1. So either this or the Orc in my hand randomly get Rage 1. Let's go ahead and activate this to draw a card. Another Zygamot's game is medium. So we attack, and this permanently gains a power. I'm unsure if I want to play the Zenthos Inquisitor. I feel like I'm supposed to be applying pressure to my opponent, but I also feel like if I play this Darkspire Tyrant out next turn, my opponent's going to be obligated to extinction me anyways, so I think this is fine, just having this on the table for now. Okay. Oh, opponent doesn't have blood shards. Oh, that's convenient. Yeah, probably should have played out the Inquisitor. I didn't take note that he was lacking blood shards. I guess I had a picture of his hand, right? Yeah, his hand is super loose. Although I guess he has a Shard Prism. No, he played a Shard Prism, didn't he? I'm not sure what opponent is doing. Hey, Immortals. Yep. Oh, that's frustrating. So opponent drew an Archon, which means... Wait. Oh, he must have drawn the Archon before he drew the cave. So he gets to cycle these, and now he's going to make a random dinosaur. Because every time this Archon enters his hand, it counts as a 6 cost entering his hand. Ugh. We don't really have a great response to that. So he can trade these here. And basically for 4 resources, my opponent just gets to... For 4 resources, my opponent gets to make a dino, which is a little frustrating. So we cast a discard spell, and then he went runner combo pieces, basically. That's gross. Yeah, you can play random opponents for no rewards in Hex. That's unfortunate. He just got a second caves with his champion power. Ugh. We've got 2 subterfuges in the reserves as additional ways to interact with what our opponent's doing. Closed coffins really doesn't interact with his opponent. Yeah, Cord, we're almost at the sub goal here, so we're gonna do the next log stream's gonna include magic still. So we will do that for sure. Maybe these 2 Darkspires Tyrants can get there. Because these, if he sweeps the board and both of these land on the deal damage side, they'll definitely kill our opponent. So he got to cycle the Archon, so both of these have 6 on it. So he's going to get to activate his Archon twice, which means he's going to get 2 random dinosaurs at will. This is a pretty neat... I wonder, exploring the best Primordial Caves Archon deck is definitely something I want to do at some point. You basically slot this into any deck that has Wild in it, since the Archon is colorless. Alright, well, we can play this out and give one of our random orcs, in play at random Rage 1. We have to go ahead and ship in here with both of these. We can burn off a potential small dinosaur blocker, and then we can actually use Zegamot's game to possibly kill our own guys here. Cost aside, how many decks would you consider as tier 1 choices? I want to say there's like 3 decks that are solidly tier 1. There's definitely the Blast Forge deck, and then I think a variation of what my opponent's playing right now is a tier 1. There's definitely a tier 1 Kaigalichu deck in the format. An opponent does have a kill in hand, so he can kill one of our guys and block the other. So he'll probably block here and then kill the other one. There's currently just one constructed format in Hex because there's only 4 sets currently. So that chose the damage mode, so my opponent took 4 there. We'll see what this one gets. That also chose the damage mode, so my opponent is now at 3. We got that going for us. So we just hit another Tyrant or one of these smaller Darkspires. We'll be in a good spot. We'll just pass the turn here. This isn't Destroy Constant, right? Yeah, just Artifact or Troop. Yeah, it's a fairly new game. It's been in development for 3 years, but they just pulled the alpha beta tag off of it several months ago. Like 3. No, it was less than that. It was shortly after I started playing. Alright, so not in a great spot here. Again, because our opponent has their Archon Primordial Caves combo going here. I think it's less than that, Immortals. So again, opponent's just like cycling his Archon back into his deck and he's going to generate some random dinosaurs here. If he doesn't generate dinosaurs that gain life, we'll be in a good spot. So he got a 6/4 and a 2/2. He drew a dinosaur that gained him life. So basically need to hit a Tyrant at this point. So we're taking 11 here. How's it going, Maddie? Alright, Crackling Vortex lets us draw an extra card. Alrighty, well. Darkspire Priest. Well, if my opponent hadn't just hit a dinosaur that gained life, we'd be okay here. Or might be okay, I guess. So we'll Heat Wave here, which will kill my guy. And then it did 3 to my opponent, so then let's Zegamot's game twice here and try and stay alive. So this card destroys a troop or artifact at random. This deck's like the spin the wheel deck. Which if you know me from my Magic stuff, like you know I generally shy away from decks like this, but occasionally they're like fun to play in smaller things. And like they're not completely random like Collected Company in that your cards could do nothing. Like all of these cards have guaranteed effects. And he hit a 6/6, so we are dead. So I may be biased. Yeah, probably. I think I'd agree with those, Waffle. I think I'd agree with that assessment. Subterfuge. This card is kind of a discard spell. It doesn't actually take the card away from our opponent, but it turns it into something else that's different. So that's nice. Burn's not particularly good in this matchup. Heat Wave's not particularly good in this matchup. I think Extinction's fine in case we need to like clean up afterwards. I don't hate Monsoon just to like, because this card, its text isn't stellar in this matchup because we're not like firing off sweepers rapid fire, but just being a 3/3 with Rage 2, so every time this attacks it permanently gets 2 power is fantastic. Maybe just want princesses as extra threats. Yeah, I think we're just like, we're definitely the aggressor in this matchup, so I'm just going to board in some of the extra threats. This is kind of a Jun style deck. Like the Darkspires are kind of like a combo card advantage element to it. The Rabbit Rock deck that someone else mentioned, that's definitely closer to a Jun style deck. Probably want Closed Coffins. No, Closed Coffins only works when the Archon dies, and he's never going to put the Archon into play. So, I don't think Coffins is particularly good. This hand's a little medium. I need some shards. We have Quashridge Rumble with a Darkspire, so we can get blood. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. We can tunnel Monsoon at the very least. Blood. Actually, it's I'm probably supposed to lead on the Ruby there, because in the event that we just like naturally draw blood shards for our first 2 draw steps, I would like to save the Quashridge Rumble. Yeah, I'm definitely supposed to lead on Ruby there. I have no idea. I'm playing a deck list that someone else played in the Blood Cup almost verbatim. I changed a couple of cards. That's not. Oh, yeah, that could be really good if we get a blood shard next turn. So let's go ahead and tunnel our Monsoon. Yeah, people that play Hex, I think, board in Closed Coffins far more than they should. Oh, he does have Hyro in his deck, so maybe we should have Heat Waves. So this card, when it comes into play, it reveals perfect. We hit a blood shard, or a duel that makes blood. This card reveals the bottom 3 cards of my opponent's library and puts a revealed resources that way, so my opponent drew 1 resource with this. Closed Coffins is a big problem. I don't necessarily think that's true. Yeah, definitely. In fact, I'm driving to Orlando this weekend to play Paper Magic. So now we have this Monsoon tunneled, which is why we have a counter on this princess here. So if my opponent kills this, when the Monsoon comes back into play, my princess will come back. And we drew Extinction, so Darkspire, if we want to draw a resource next turn, basically. And opponent has their combo just naturally again. That's unfortunate. And we didn't have any discard this time. Like last time, it was annoying because like we had a discard spell and we discarded it and then he drew runner. This time he just had both in the opener. We are driving to Orlando. Ooh, Coffins is good against us. Because this triggers on dies, right? Yeah, huh. I don't think we can win anymore. We're gonna... that turns off Gallows too, right? Yeah, I think we're just gonna lose the game here, probably. Alright, we had a kill out of our opponent's hand, so we got that going for us. Maybe we get lucky and just pressure him out of the game. If our opponent doesn't have an extinction here, we're in a good spot. Gallows doesn't get larger like this voids our troops instead of dying. So if he has extinction here, we're probably just gonna pack it in. Wow, he doesn't. Okay, sweet. Scoop to coffin seems like maybe. I mean, like, not everyone has 4 coffins in the. I don't think coffins is that good in the format. People are overboarding it, and everyone in this game seems to like to overboard coffins. So maybe it's a bad spot to be. But like, I just cut it from the reserves of my Blood Sapphire deck because it wasn't particularly great. So he gets to make a random dinosaur here by cycling his Archon. Like, closed coffins is really good against our deck. I agree that our opponent should bring it in here because it turns off the Darkspire abilities. The Darkspires trigger on dies. So this is awkward. He's probably gonna block. He might not want to trade. Let's see how he blocks. We might get out of this game with a win just with these Gallow Gas burning our opponent out. So yeah, so this sucks because the closed coffins voids this one out of our hand. So opponent goes down to 9. And his guy died. So we actually have 12 points of reach in our hand if we draw some shards here, so. Shard, perfect. I mean, alright, so we get to go ahead and attack here. And I think he can only make 1 dinosaur this turn, and then we get to go Ruby Shard. We're going to hit him for 4 at least, and then go Ruby Shard Gallows Gas to kill him. This card, when it comes into play, it deals damage equal to its power to the opposing champion. Maybe I'm supposed to play the shard and jam this first. I don't know. I think that's close. Because this has a speed gem on it. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to have done this first. Let's see though. Don't make a dino that gains life. Alright, just a 7/7, that's fine. Yep, so opponent goes down to 5. We take a kill out of my opponent's hand. Good stuff. Rawr. This is my Gallows Gas trigger. Alright, we get a game 3. Do I want heat waves to kill my guys off aggressively? I don't think my opponent has vampires in their deck, so I don't think Zenthos Inquisitor is actually that good. And we're definitely against. I don't think I want Zygomat's game. I think I'd rather have heat waves and an extra kill. Kills, like, the targeted removal's good, and Zygomat's game, like, he's got like little rabbit idiots to buffer his Runeir. So I think I'm gonna cut game. Hey Dino, what's going on, mate? Yeah, so this card gets bigger every time a troop dies on either side of the table, so that's kind of sweet. Let's try this. Maybe he just won't have a combo. He won't have a combo the first game. Combo on 3 right away. That would be nice. This is what you could probably call a bad keep, but the cards in this hand are very good in this matchup. Like, having the 2 discard spells like stop his combo is great. we disable MTG bot? Yeah, probably. Yep, got there. Yeah, Princess is definitely like the go-to replacement for King, I think. I also don't think Corpse Fly is awful. Like, it's a card that generates value. Alright, and he has the combo in his hand again, so let's turn his Primordial Caves into a different random wild card for him. Sacrifice this, destroy target constants. I'm assuming this is what his Primordial Caves turned into. Alright, well, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to tunnel Monsoon here, I think. If we're really lucky, we're going to run off shards the next 2 turns. Cottontail Explorer, hit him 1 shard. Alright, so he's going to be able to play Vampire King next turn, so I probably want to Inquisition. Oh yeah, you're right. When you zoom in, it shows. You're right. I forget that I can do that. Okay, so we did miss on the shard because that's fine. We hit 2 shards. I shouldn't complain. Let's take his Vampire King away, because otherwise it's probably gonna eat us alive. So he's just got Archon and a bunch of shards in his hand. It's unfortunate we have to take the VK. I'd kind of like to take the Archon, because like if he rips the Primordial Caves here, we're gonna be in trouble. And we have these, but like if the VK gets going, it's kind of scary. So what just happened there, that shard that just got revealed, my opponent activated their champion power, which says you put the bottom 3 cards of your crypt into your deck, and from your deck into your crypt, and then return 1 at random to your hand. Look at that, got a shard. Play my Darkspire Punisher. And this got a counter, so if this dies, it'll come back for Monsoon, which is nice. Yeah, and like the important thing to remember in like Hex versus MTG is that in Hex, the champion system makes you get penalized less for flooding out. Offer this trade, yeah, take this trade every time because I have a Monsoon, dude. So either discard at random or I'll get to search for a Darkspire. It looks like I get to search for a Darkspire, so we're going to take, which one do I want? I think I'm going to take the Darkspire Priestess because if we hit a Ruby Shard next turn, we can play Priestess and then play Heatwave, and then Monsoon will bring them both back next turn. Look at that. God, I'm a wizard. God, I'm a wizard. I feel like such a powerful mage when things like that happen. You just like, you talk about what you want to happen, and then it happens. Get this jank out of here. And you see my opponent took 3 damage there because when this one dies, it either deals 3 damage at random or I get to search for a thing. And the next turn, when Monsoon comes into play, he's going to bring both those Darkspire from my crypt back into play. This is not the same deck I've been playing, Master. This is a new deck. Are you a wizard of the coast, right? No, I'm a wizard of the Midwest. Should that be my title, the Wizard of the Midwest? Alright, so he doesn't have counter magic, so this is going to definitely come into play and bring my boys back. Guess who's back? Back again. Darkspire back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Da 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 da. Boom, boom. God, anything that lets me make really crappy Linkin Park or Eminem references has got to be good, right? Alright, well, I didn't want to play into another sweeper, but playing another Darkspire out sounds great, because when he kills these things, we get rewarded. I'm not going to run the Vampire Princess out here, because if opponent casts Extinction, I don't want to play my other threat into it. The old hard cast the Archon, yep. He's going to give this minus power, sure. Slim Hoogie. I'm Slim Hoogieist. I'm the real Hoogie. All the other Slim Hoogies. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. And this is the best because opponent's getting into a damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation where he needs closed coffins plus a sweeper because otherwise he's likely just going to die. So if opponent doesn't go Closed Coffins plus Extinction next turn, they're probably just dead. I do love Linkin Park as well. Get a cease and desist, right? Alright, Vampire Princess, don't care about that one. Oh, yeah. These spires are dark. For the spires are dark and full of terrors, my children. They are full of terrors. Alright, let's queue up another one. This deck seems sweet so far. We're 2-0, which is probably why I think it's sweet. I've lost every game 1 so far. Yeah, Skillet's great. In fact, if you want to hear the music that I enjoy... Actually, I think there's a... playlist, was it? This is the one of the Pandora stations I listen to a lot. I think this hand's probably keepable against an unknown. It's not exactly an unknown, but like the deck our opponent's playing isn't really a deck. It isn't a meta deck, so we don't know specifically what my opponent's doing. So I think like 3 removal spells is probably fine against an unknown. I mean, we just beat Primordial Caves. Gosh, I am such a professional. We're running hot today. So opponent's on Mono Blood something, it looks like. In the attrition matchups, you just, like, want to win the flip so you, like, get another Darkspire every time. If the Darkspire could just, like, always get other Darkspire, they would be so nuts. Yeah, this to trigger Bleed Out definitely makes sense. Play a True Pike and Inquisitor. God bless you, opponent. God bless you. Alright, so we're going to bin a Heat Wave here, I think. Hey, Infernum. Let's play this out. Let's draw a card first. Might affect our decision. Ooh, Candy. So this will give this -3 power permanently. And when this dies, it comes back to our hand and gets +2 cost. It's just another great card that like plays well with our sweepers. Yep, I'm just jumping to game 2, sure. Might as well. Another Corpse Flash, sure. I'm just bidding the Heat Wave again. I don't really want to sweep the table. Pretty happy with how my board's developed. And I'm going to offer this trade for... If he wants to trade either of these for that, that's fine. And, like, he might just, like, trade off with the Inquisitor. Just because, like, this made me discard a card. Hey, coach. Train out the Darkspire, sure. It's nice not showing him the Tyrant, because the Tyrant gets better, obviously, the more Darkspire we have in the bin. So he's less likely to trade with the Darkspire if he knows we have the Tyrant coming. Here, Jake, you want this? Alright, so we got a Vampire Princess here. It's a little annoying. I just want to see you Gallus someone for 30. Jeff, Centimeter 76. Gallows for 14 ones. Yeah, getting much higher than that sounds kind of ambitious. Now the question is, after he no blocks here, do I burn this Extinction? I think I do, because I really don't want him taking cards out of my hand and gaining life. Oh, he's trading. That's good for us. So he's taking 4 here altogether, and this is coming back to our hand. Well, that's great. Now we're obviously not casting Extinction. Yeah, that block's probably fine there, because like, if I cast Extinction, he might just like die to this trigger plus burn. Another princess, sure. That really doesn't matter. We really want to hit a shard, right? A shard is the nut here. Second burn will do, pig. Now the question is, do I want to double burn this? Yeah, I do. I'm just going to double burn this and then crack him for 6, because that puts him to 4, which means if Darkspire Tyrant, and like there's definitely merit to seeing like if he no blocks there, but I feel like if he blocked the Inquisitor last turn, he's definitely going to chump this turn. And now if he kills this, he has a chance to die. And even if he doesn't die to this trigger, we get to draw 2 cards. So like up a creek without a paddle either way. It probably can, Slow God. I play this game on my netbook when I travel. Oh, he gained a life, so now he can kill this and not die. That's fair. Inquisition, sure. Inquisitor down. When are we removing the spell shield gem from the game? At some point soon, probably. Bleed out. Sacrifice that one. Oh, he went to 1. Okay. Darkspire. Darkspire Troop. Darkspire Troop. Ding. Just want to draw Darkspires the rest of the game. Awesome, Slow God. Yeah, game sweet. Vampire Kiss. That's annoying. Sweet. We get to search for a Darkspire, so we get to get another Tyrant here. Ah, God, this card's so good. When these things search for things, it's so busted. And now he's in the possibly dead if he kills this scenario, and if he doesn't die, we get to draw 4 cards, because there's 3 other Darkspires in here. Get wreck. Oh, jeez. I might just cast Extinction here, in all honesty. So, like, if I attack and he blocks, he goes to 6. No, I should just offer the trade, right? Yeah, I offer the trade because he'll take 8 if we get the damage half. Yeah, that's fine. So he's dead if he doesn't block, and he has to block. And even if he blocks here, there's a chance he dies on the Darkspire trigger. Didn't die, but look at all these cards. Look at all these cards! I can't even hold all of these Hex cards! I don't know! I don't know! Give one of my Orcs Rage randomly. Let's go ahead and tunnel this guy. Let's go ahead and play him a Punisher. And now when this Punisher dies, he's going to come back with Monsoon. Yeah, they definitely need to get the mobile client done. They hit that on their Kickstarter backer, and like this game, alright, we get to search for another Darkspire boy here. Do we just want a Tyrant? Probably just want a Tyrant, right? Because like Tyrant's OP. God, searching up Tyrants is so busted. This deck is sweet. Maybe I shouldn't have streamed with this deck, because I don't think my blue-black deck can beat this. It's probably a bad idea. Just like stream. Oh, you know what? I should have played the Tyrant. Nah, I don't want to play the Tyrant first, because if we draw cards, I'll be sad. And now this Tyrant will come back with Monsoon. Oh, jeez. All of the combos. I'd play at work instead of working, right? Yeah, man, that's fine. You got a 1/4. There is. Worker bot should be in the channel. You have to put exclamation point card before your question, though. Let's go ahead and ship for 6 here. He has to block. All Alright, so we're just going to play this Darkspire, and then we're going to cast Extinction. And there's a chance my opponent dies because of Tyrant. Alright, let's get another one of these. And then we draw a bunch of cards from the other one. God, I can't even hold all of these Hex cards! I can't even hold all of these cards! I think I'm just going to Inquisition him and see what he's got. Alright, well, I'll take your Agoraphobia, I guess. And then next turn we go Darkspire, cast Heatwave. And then the following turn, they all come back from Monsoon. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Ba-dum-bum-bum-dum. I just want to put them all back into play. That's all I want to do. I just want to, like, look how many are in the crypt. Look at how many have counters on them. They all have counters. Almost all of them. We got 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4, 5. Hey, Leof. Hex has always had sweet decks as long. I've only been playing for 4 months, but like it's had sweet decks for as long as I've been playing. Yeah, like people say this deck's a blast from the past, so I'm sure things like this. Oh, the audio's muted. You haven't been able to hear the sound effects, and they're wonderful. I wonder why I muted that. Like this deck's completely new to me. Like I just saw it in the Blood Cup, and I was like, I want to give this a try. Waiting on my opponent. Zigabot's game annoys you. Look at Boris Blastforge players aren't allowed to have opinions in this chat, Mapamonte. You are part of the problem. We are trying to be part of the solution. We could possibly kill our opponent this turn. We're gonna go Darkspire Priestess into Darkspire Priestess, cast Heatwave. And if both of these priestesses land on the deal 3 damage side of the coin, we'll just burn our opponent. Maybe we'll wait a turn, though, because it's more fun if we get to bring all of our troops back into play. It's definitely more fun if we get to put all of our troops back into play. So maybe we will choose the plus fun portion of... I'm all for the plus fun decisions. Oh, Yotul does up this, doesn't he? Okay. I didn't think about Darkspire damage with Yotul being relevant. I was only thinking we only have burns and heat waves. I'm playing the deck list from that cup verbatim. Let's get these out of here. Oh, geez, and they both did damage to him. All right, we're just going to pass because I want to bring all our Darkspire back into play. And then kill them all with extinctions. But that's flavorful, right? Like killing him, extincting all of our guys. All right, so now Monsoon comes into play. And brings all the Darkspire back in. For the Horde. Our life for the Horde. Let's play this out. And then for the lulz. Statistically should die here. Yeah, die to the Darkspire. Their life was given for the Horde. All right, what are we doing here? That's the real question. That's the real question. Why you play with your food? It was way more fun to extinction the board. That's why. Don't you judge me. I can feel your judgment. All right, burn and heat wave don't seem particularly good. I don't like discarding like these black-based mirrors either. These blood-based mirrors. He has mirrors. Crimson Bolt seems fine. Kill seems fine. I thought it was neat too. I enjoyed myself. Bring Princess in. Probably bring in the extra Monsoon. All right, maybe we leave in 2 Inquisitions or 2 burns. I guess burn plus a Darkspire attack trades up into a Vampire, so we'll leave those in under that logic. Yeah, the Ghasts have speed and damage in them, and the Inquisitors have minus power. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna do this. I think I like burn better than Inquisition. There's so much judgment. Why are you judging me? What is Subterfuge? Subterfuge is for decks that have they have very specific cards that you want to take away from them, like the Boris Blastforge deck. You want to take away specifically the Runar Hierophant or stuff like that. Cards that have like 1 or 2 specific cards that are like really high impact. This hand seems super reasonable, so we're gonna keep. You hit your data cap. Opponent chose to draw. Okay, deal. Get a blood shard here, because the important thing to remember with this deck is we only have single ruby threshold, so this Roan Ruby Shard will satisfy that, but Darkspire Tyrant has triple blood threshold, so we want to make sure we hit that. Yeah, Rotten Rancor and Rise Again are really good. Gus, I missed when you started talking. You were talking about wanting a Reanimator style deck. I actually wrote about the Rabbit Rock and a Reanimator style deck. I've recorded some videos with early variations of it when the format first started. You did a good job of making me hate it, Les. You're allowed to hate it. That deck's it's very good against the Rabbit Rock deck. It's just difficult for them to deal with. Yeah, the campaign is definitely like, I definitely recommend everyone like try the intro that it guides you through, and then play a little bit of the campaign. Like I played the campaign for like 2.5, 3 hours before I bought a deck. Their decks and Hex for drawing first is better. I don't think so, little Bow Wow. Little Bo. I have to go ahead and play a Darkspire Punisher. He has a 1/1 life drain flight. Okay. Oh, is Boros a tough matchup for Uju Cannon? I figured it would probably be a little bit hard. Do you want this? Don't try the rabbit deck, it's not good. Matt just doesn't want to play mirrors. Yeah, it seems really powerful, Gary. He's going to attack here. I'm not going to attack my Darkspire Punisher into his Vampire Princess because he'll just block. We're just going to, like, play this Blood Shard and cast Extinction on our turn, I think. So both my kids are up from their naps now. Today is just a little extra bonus stream. It's not part of our normal schedule. So this is unfortunately going to be we're just gonna play two matches here this afternoon, so I can play with the kids. I think it's nice enough to take them outside We'll see how hot it is. We were getting into the 90s here earlier this week, so if it's still like that, we're going to play inside, but tomorrow afternoon, we'll be on for a good solid 4 hours, all Hex as always on Thursdays, and we're going to be a lot of Hex moving forward. Okay, an opponent had to discard a card at random. Discarded a Corpse Harvester. Okay. It is very warm out. All right, Shard would be great here so we can play our Tyrant. Gosh. Ask me what it's like. I don't even know. Am I supposed to play the Priestess out? Maybe I'm supposed to play the Priestess out. Yeah, that can't be right. Let's just use our resources efficiently. I think socket cards are always good or they depend on the gems themselves. I think there's probably always going to be gems that make the good socketed cards good. Like even when Spell Shield goes away, Runeer Hierophant's still going to be a reasonable card. Alright, man, you got a 1/4. I'm not letting you in here. You like to turn the computer off, you terror. Who will I blame for all of our problems? I don't know. I don't know. Serious loss to it. I think I played against him last night with my Sapphire Blood deck when I was finishing out my Gauntlet. Rotcast. I'm just going to kill this now. Alright, and this guy searches up a Darkspire, so we're just going to get ourselves another Tyrant. Once you're in the Tyrant portion of the game, life is swell. Darkspire, get Tyrants. Tyrants kill your opponent. Opponent doesn't want to play anymore. Oh no. Come back, opponent. Alright, folks, like I said, nice short little teaser stream today. We're gonna battle with this deck some more tomorrow. I had people vote for what deck they wanted to see the next deck drill down written on, and this won the vote. So we're definitely gonna be playing this a good bit so I can get a feel for it and kind of think about some improvements and suggestions we can make to the deck possibly. So far it seems pretty reasonable. The champion's definitely one thing that's on my radar of things I may or may not want to change. We did play 2 matches. If you missed the first match, I'm going to get the archive uploading to YouTube so you can check that out later tonight. But like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with a minimum 4 hours like we do. And then if you didn't see this message and you're a sub or just a general viewer, feel free to click on that and be informed about things that are going to be happening here in the future. Yep, just like short preview streams. So I'll catch you later. I'll probably be around other people's streams this evening. I'm getting ready to actually go on vacation for a week and a half. So